Welcome back to Living Stoic, the channel where masculine clarity, calm leadership, and inner law shape every relationship we enter. Today, we begin with a question most men never ask out loud, but one that defines everything about how you're seen, remembered, and desired. If you knew that just one sentence, a single well-timed compliment, could make her heart race, could live in her memory for weeks, and could change how she sees you forever, would you still waste time with weak, empty lines like, "You're hot," or "Nice dress"? Or would you learn to speak like a man of presence, a man whose words carry weight, whose compliments aren't just heard, but felt? Because here's the truth that most men miss completely. Words are weapons, or they are witnesses. They either signal desperation, or they demonstrate discernment. And when you learn to compliment a woman from a place of grounded stoicism, from a place of restraint, sincerity, and calm power, she won't just hear what you said. She'll feel who you are. This is Living Stoic. And here, we don't chase approval. We speak deliberately. We connect intentionally. We live by inner law. So in today's video, we're breaking down 8 powerful compliments that do something far deeper than flatter her ego. These compliments trigger something ancient in the feminine mind, the deep yearning to feel seen, respected, emotionally safe, and intimately understood by a grounded man. These are not try-hard one-liners. They're emotional tuning forks, carefully chosen words that make her drop her guard, lean in, and remember you. And if you're out here still throwing around phrases like "you look cute" or "you're sexy," hoping they'll stick, you're playing in the shallow end. You're not just being ignored, you're becoming forgettable. Because attraction, the real kind, begins beneath the surface. And here's where stoicism separates boys from men. A stoic man doesn't talk to be heard. He speaks when it matters. And when he does, people lean in. So if you're ready to separate yourself from every other approval-seeking guy in her messages, if you're ready to create emotional imprint instead of just visual attention, and if you're ready to lead with presence, not performance, then stay with me to the end. Because once you understand the emotional mechanics behind these 8 compliments, your words will no longer be noise. They'll be influence. And by the time you finish this video, you'll never look at a compliment the same way again. But first, if you find value in this kind of grounded, real-talk approach to relationships, confidence, and attraction, take 2 seconds and hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you never miss these deeper lessons on masculine psychology. And as we go through each compliment, drop a comment below. Let us know which compliment you've used or wish you had. Type 1 if it resonates, type 0 if it doesn't. Let's sharpen this skill together, like men who speak with intention. Let's begin. Compliment number 1. That fragrance you're wearing is addictive. It smells amazing. Now, most guys will hear this and think, okay, you're just saying she smells good. Wrong. This isn't about perfume. This is about psychological anchoring. You see, scent is the only sense directly wired into the limbic system, the emotional memory center of the human brain. That means every time she wears that fragrance, it isn't just perfume to her anymore. It becomes you, your words, your energy, the way you made her feel that day. Suddenly, every spritz becomes a portal, straight back to you. And here's what most men don't get. She's not used to men noticing the subtleties. She hears compliments on her looks, maybe her dress. But the way her scent affects you? That's deeper. That's sensual. That's unforgettable. Now don't just throw this out like some pickup line. This is where stoicism meets precision. Say it with quiet command. Speak it like a man who knows the power of presence. Look her in the eye and tell her calmly, "That fragrance you're wearing, it's addictive." Then leave the silence. Let her feel what that means, because that's not just a compliment, it's an invitation into memory. Every time she puts that perfume on, she'll wonder if you're thinking of her, and she'll feel the answer before she ever asks. That's not chemistry, that's strategy. Compliment number 2, your smile could brighten an entire room. Now again, this sounds simple, but don't confuse simplicity with shallowness. Because what you're really saying is this: your presence has emotional power. You shift energy, you change how a space feels just by walking into it. Let's be honest, most guys never think like this. They notice the lips, the teeth, the curve of her face, but they miss the effect she has on the room. They're focused on features, not frequencies. But you're not like most men. You notice her smile because of how it changes people. You've felt it, that sudden lift in the air when she walks in and lights up the room with a smile that isn't forced, isn't filtered, it's real. You're not complimenting her looks, you're reflecting her impact. That's what makes this so powerful. You're saying you don't just smile, you transmit something. You make people feel better by being yourself. And that kind of recognition, that melts her, because it says, I see what others miss. A stoic man doesn't scatter his praise. He studies, he notices, and when he speaks, his words carry the weight of awareness. So when you say your smile could light up an entire room, say it not like a flirt, but like a man who means it. She'll never forget that, because every time she walks into a room from then on, she'll wonder if you'd say it again, and she'll hope you do. Compliment 3. I love how real you are. You don't try to fit in, you're just you. Let's cut through the noise for a moment. We live in an era where everyone is performing. Online and offline, filters, scripts, personas. People mold themselves into whatever they think will be liked, validated, or approved. But once in a while, you meet someone who refuses to play that game. She's unapologetically herself, flaws and all. She doesn't try to copy what's trending. She doesn't water down her opinions to keep the peace. She doesn't wear a mask just to be accepted. And that kind of authenticity is electric. So when you tell a woman, I love how real you are, you're not just complimenting her. You're validating one of the boldest choices a person can make today. The choice to be real in a world obsessed with being liked. And here's what most guys miss. This compliment doesn't land because it flatters. It lands because it honors her courage. It says, I see the woman behind the presentation, and that's who I'm drawn to. Let's go deeper. Authenticity isn't always beautiful in the polished Instagram sense of the word. It's messy, it's sometimes awkward, it's brave, it's wild, it's unpredictable. But it's real. And a stoic man values truth more than trend. He's not drawn to what's flashy. He's drawn to what's real and rooted. So when you look her in the eye and say, you're real, you don't try to fit in, and I admire that, you're doing something powerful. You're giving her permission to drop the mask even more. Not just with the world, but with you. And when a woman feels that kind of emotional safety, when she knows she can just be herself around you, she bonds with you on a level most men never reach. Not because you seduced her body, but because you honored her essence. Compliment number 4. I love the way you see the world. It really makes me think. Now, we're entering sacred ground, because what you're really doing here is admiring her mind. And that, my friend, is rare. In a culture dominated by visual dopamine and empty scrolls, most men don't even know how to compliment a woman's worldview. But every woman has one. She has a lens, shaped by experience, by wounds, by wonder. She sees meaning in things others overlook. She challenges what others accept blindly. She questions, she notices, she thinks. And when a man says, your perspective, it shifts something in me, he's doing something no filter can fake. He's honoring her inner world. This is how you move past the small talk. This is how you create depth. Because now you're not just saying, I like your face. You're saying, your mind moves me. And the feminine responds deeply to that. Why? Because you're creating intimacy, not through touch, not through sex, not through gifts, but through intellectual resonance. From a stoic standpoint, this is gold. A stoic man trains his mind. He questions. He thinks critically. He values substance over stimulation. So when he meets a woman who thinks deeply, he doesn't just admire her, he invites her into his mental world. That's where connection grows roots. So the next time a woman surprises you with her thoughts, her insight, or her take on something, don't just nod and change the subject. Pause and say, I really love how you see things. It actually made me think about things differently. That single line, it opens doors most men don't even know exist. And trust me, she'll remember you for that. Because in a world where most men chase her curves, you respected her consciousness. And that is unforgettable. Compliment number 5. I love your energy. It's contagious. You make me want to be better. Let's get raw for a moment. We've all met people who drain us. People who carry this invisible cloud of tension, negativity, or narcissism. You feel heavy just being around them. But then, there are the rare ones. The ones who light up a room without saying a word. Who shift the energy just by existing, who make you feel seen, hopeful, elevated. That's who this compliment is for. When you tell a woman, your energy makes me want to level up, what you're really saying is, you inspire me, not because you asked to, but because of who you naturally are. You're saying, I admire your impact. And here's why that's such a high-level compliment. Most guys compliment how a woman looks. But a grounded man, a stoic man, he compliments how she makes him feel and who she makes him want to become. That's influence. That's soul-level chemistry. And let's not overlook this. Feminine energy at its highest doesn't just soothe, it awakens. It doesn't just comfort, it activates. So when you feel that from her, that clarity, that warmth, that fire, tell her. Say, I don't know what it is, but your energy pushes me to rise. Because now she knows she's not just pretty, she's powerful. She's not just liked, she's respected. And that changes the game completely. From a stoic lens, this is essential. A stoic man is constantly refining himself. He welcomes people who challenge him, not with pressure, but with presence. He honors energy that elevates him, not drains him. And when you say this to her, it's more than flattery. It's recognition. It's alignment. It's you saying, you bring light, and I choose to rise in it. That kind of compliment? It leaves a mark no kiss ever could. Compliment number 6, you're honestly one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met. You really care, and it shows. Let's strip away the noise for a second. In a world obsessed with performance, likes, and applause, genuine thoughtfulness has become rare, almost revolutionary. We see surface-level kindness every day. People smile, nod, and offer polite words. But you and I both know that's not the same as real care. Real care is in the details. It's in remembering someone's coffee order. It's in checking in when they've gone quiet. It's in doing small things, not for attention, not for recognition, but simply because you see people. So when you tell a woman you're one of the most thoughtful people I've ever met, you're doing more than complimenting her manners. You're honoring her emotional intelligence, her compassion, her presence, her ability to make people feel safe. And in a world full of noise, that level of calm awareness is gold. You're saying, I see how much heart you put into the way you treat people. And that's not something you can fake. Now here's where most men go wrong. They focus so much on trying to impress, they forget to observe. But a stoic man, he observes everything. He notices the way she listens, the way she remembers names, the way she lifts others without even trying. Because he knows, those quiet, almost invisible behaviors, they reveal far more than appearances ever could. So when you tell her, you really care, and it shows, you're not just being sweet, you're saying, your presence heals. And trust me, most women don't hear that. They get told they're hot, they get told they're fun, they get told they're sexy, but very few get told that their character is beautiful, that their kindness matters. So when you're the one to say it, when you say it sincerely, you rise above every other man she's ever known. Compliment 7. I love how driven you are. Your sense of purpose is seriously inspiring. Let's talk about fire. Not the fire of temporary passion, not the fire of lust or adrenaline, but the fire that comes from vision, from ambition, from purpose. A woman who's driven, truly driven, carries a different energy. She doesn't coast, she doesn't settle, she's building. Maybe she's launching something. Maybe she's juggling career and personal growth. Maybe she's quietly overcoming battles no one sees. But through it all, she keeps going. So when you tell her, your drive inspires me, you're recognizing the part of her that most people overlook. Her inner engine. And here's the key. You're not praising her for results. You're admiring her for effort. You're saying, I see the discipline, the resilience, the grit. And that lands deeper than any comment about her appearance ever could. Because drive isn't about where she is, it's about where she's going. And a stoic man, he respects the journey. He respects the process. He knows what it feels like to chase something no one else understands, to stay focused while the world sleeps. So when he sees that same fire in a woman, he honors it. He doesn't try to tame it. He doesn't try to overshadow it. He respects it. So when you say your purpose is inspiring, you're doing something rare. You're not trying to compete with her. You're not trying to impress her. You're saying, I see you. I respect what drives you, and I want to walk beside it. And that, my friend, is how you bond with a woman who's going somewhere. Not with pickup lines, not with promises, but with recognition of her fire. Compliment number 8. You have this incredible way of making people feel comfortable and truly valued. Let's finish strong. Because this right here is a compliment that transforms how a woman sees herself. Why? Because it's not about her looks. It's not about her charm. It's about her impact. Think about the people you've met in life who made you feel completely safe being yourself. No judgment, no pressure, just peace. That's rare. And when you find someone who does that, someone whose presence soothes without trying, you don't forget them. So when you tell her you make people feel comfortable and valued, you're naming a sacred gift. You're saying, you don't just enter a room, you heal it. And here's what makes this compliment next level. You're not talking about attraction. You're talking about emotional depth. Because what you've recognized is her capacity to connect. And women who carry that gift, they feel everything. They carry weight for others. They hold space in silence. They offer comfort even when they're tired. Most men never even see that. But you saw it. You felt it. And when you speak it aloud, you're not just being kind. You're lifting a burden. Because sometimes the person who makes everyone feel safe feels invisible herself. So tell her, look her in the eye and say, you have a way of making people feel safe, and that's beautiful. From a Stoic lens, that's emotional mastery. It's the ability to feel deeply but act wisely. It's the strength to sit in silence and still speak volumes with your presence. And when you recognize that in her, she'll never forget you. Because you didn't just see her body, you saw her essence. And that, brother, that is how you become unforgettable. Now pause, breathe. You've just been given 8 of the most powerful, emotionally intelligent, and psychologically effective compliments a man can ever speak. But more importantly, you now understand why they work. It's not about the words, it's about the presence behind them. And if you thought this was powerful, wait until you see what happens next. Tap the video now popping up on your screen. 7 good morning texts no woman can ignore. Because the right words in the morning, they don't just get a reply, they set the tone for her entire day. And remember, your words are your sword. Wield them with honor, use them with purpose, and never ever waste them on mediocrity. Subscribe. Comment below. Words have power, and I know how to use them. Let's see who's paying attention. Welcome to Living Stoic, where we master the art of presence, one intentional word at a time.